I got those. I believe you handed them to me this morning. Thank you, Eric. There's some routine stuff we can do that we don't need to. Yes. Take care of the routine if you.
All right, my name is Charles DeFiore. I'm the chairman of the Oklahoma County Planning Commission, and the notice of this meeting was posted on August 13th, 2021, and I'm calling the meeting to order right now. Roll call, Eric, please.
Yes, Miss Amy Martin. Miss Denise Patterson.
Here.
Mr. Charles DeFuria.
Here.
Mr. Benjamin Weiss.
Here.
Mr. Rob Talbot.
Here.
Miss Jennifer Craig.
Here.
And Joe Blau with Commissioner Bloomer's office.
Okay, we have a quorum. Now, did everybody have a chance to read the minutes from the previous meeting? If you were present at the meeting last time?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, need a second?
I second.
Roll call, Eric?
Miss Martin. Miss Patterson. Mr. DeFuria.
Yes.
Mr. Weiss.
Yes.
Mr. Talbot.
Yes.
Miss Craig. Mr. Blau.
All right, item number 5 is a discussion and possible action to approve or deny the general plat GP 2021-03 of Becker Cersei Acres. For staff report. Oh,
Because they weren't here last time.
oh, okay, all right. All right, thank you, Gretchen. Okay. So, staff report, Eric, on item number 5.
Sure. Item 5 and 6 are companion items. 5 and 6 are brought to you today because of the change of the subdivision regulations that were recently approved by the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners. Typically, what you see before you would be considered a lot split in the past regulation. What is different now is in a lot split type of application, if you have a lot that is less than 5 acres, in the new regulation, it now has to be platted. So in this particular case, the lot to the north, it meets that criteria. It's less than 5 acres. So in this particular item, it's just a general plat, just kind of a general idea of how they're wanting to split the property here. Obviously, they really don't have any options besides what they've done in this picture here. And so, again, item 5 and 6 are companion items It's essentially now it's a two-step process as far as plating. There's no improvements that have been constructed. So that these are the two items before you today.
All right, thanks. Any questions for Eric?
I've got one, so I can't really tell from here, that northern building, how close is it to that property line? Is that going to be okay per the regulations?
It's beyond the 25 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that we kept an eye on.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a question, Gretchen. So we consider these two items together? Is that what we're doing right now?
I mean, if you wanted to vote on them one at a time, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know that
Okay.
they're companion items. Essentially, one's just a general outline. The final plat has not changed. There's just two lots. There's no improvement. So
Okay.
you'd want to approach each one of them individually as far as voting. The applicant is here if you do have any questions for him.
Okay, would the applicant come forward, please? And state your name and your address, please.
My name is Brian Searcy. I'm at 7300 Ridge Road, eastern Oklahoma County. This property we purchased it, my wife and I and our daughter and son-in-law purchased it in 2003 and have lived there since that time. We're now asking to divide it into two parcels, a 6-acre parcel and a 3-acre parcel, so that we can manage it and sell it in the future.
Okay, all right. Any questions for Mr. Searcy? All right, thank you, Mr. Searcy.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here who wants to speak against this proposal? Come forward, please. All right, I hear none. So I'll entertain a motion to either approve or deny items number 5 and number 6.
I move to approve number 5.
Just
Okay, one at a time. Okay, roll call for number 5.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Patterson,
Yes.
Mr. DeFuria.
Yes.
Mr. Weiss.
Yes.
Mr. Talbot.
Yes.
Ms. Craig. Mr. Blau.
Okay, now a motion for item number 6.
I move to approve.
Second?
Roll call.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Patterson.
Yes.
Mr. DeFuria.
Yes.
Mr. Weiss.
Yes.
Mr. Talbot.
Yes.
Ms. Craig. Mr. Blau.
Okay, item number 7 is discussion and possible action to approve or deny a zoning change from R2 Rural Residential District to Planned Unit Development, PUD, and it's PUD 2021-02. Staff report, Eric?
Yes. So, as you know, with the PUD, essentially what they're doing here is instead of just one straight zoning category, they've combined two, essentially. There is a residential component to the south and east, and then there's a commercial component that's on the corner directly itself. As you can see here, this is just kind of a general map there of the county, but you can kind of see what is in the area that's similar to this as far as residential and other PUDs, commercial developments. Obviously, with the PUD, they have some flexibility as far as what they can do inside the PUD. They've come up with a PUD statement that you guys had a copy of as far as what they wanted to include residentially, as far as setbacks, design, that sort of information. And then they also included in the commercial portion what activities they want to include and what activities they excluded. And so this is very similar to other PUDs that we've had before this board before. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about the PUD or the staff report that you received.
Yeah, I've got a question about, I looked at the plan, and it looked like one of the lots, let me see if I can find it here. Was it drawn to scale? Because one of them said it was like 1,500 square feet, but it looked bigger than, 15,000?
15.
Yeah, it was lot number, what was that, 10. Lot number, is that a typographical error, or what is that?
I'm assuming no, based on what my calculations when I went through the PUD itself to make sure the total amount of area was correct. So with the PUD, you can state that essentially in this particular PUD, they went with the base category of R0, which is essentially 6,000 square foot lots at the minimum. So obviously, these lots are much larger than that. And so they're using those setbacks and whatnot as part of that base zoning category. So that 15,000 square foot can be there. It's not.
But it doesn't look like it's drawn to scale. I mean, if you just,
It may, we'll have to ask the applicant when we get to that point, but that's true. I would assume that would be 25,000 instead of 15, but that's just my assumption.
okay. Any other questions for Eric?
Eric, did you say that they outlined the uses of the commercial?
Yes, if you look in the PUD statement, under urban general commercial and office, there's approximately 50 different uses that are standard in that type of zoning category. And so they're going to include all of those, but in that PUD statement, there's 8 particular uses they excluded.
Under 8.1.1. It's the 4th page.
If you're looking at the PUD statement itself, that's correct.
So, what is it, on page, page 17? They have like seven uses that they're excluding, is that it?
Correct. It's the automotive parking lot, the automotive parking garage, automotive equipment storage, automotive and equipment repairs, heavy equipment, 5 transient accommodation campground, 6 transient accommodations lodging, 7 gasoline cells in regards to truck stops.
Okay, all right. Other questions for Eric?
So when we vote on this, we're voting for commercial and residential on the same vote.
Right, it's a PUD. It's essentially that statement that you have before you is what's going to regulate that particular development.
Gotcha.
But we do have the capability of saying we can exclude stuff out of the PUD. We don't have to agree to everything that's in the PUD.
Gotcha.
And if they agree to that, then, is that correct?
Right, if you want, if there are certain things that everybody agrees upon that you want to exclude and they agree to that, that's fine too. I will say, which many of you have the letters, there are many protests in this particular instance. We do have a map of those protests. I want to bring that up here real quick just because the protest that is directly to the east of this particular property, it's kind of hard to see it at that particular scale, but it's directly east of this property. And so the reason that is significant is that is what would be defined under the statute as significant protest when it goes to the Board of County Commissioners. So I just wanted to point that out. If you don't have any more questions for me, the applicant is here.
Okay, any more questions? Okay. All right, would the applicant come forward, please? Did you have something, Stacy? No? Just state your name and address, please.
Hi, Ryan Scammyhorn with Creative Home Designs.
What was your last name again?
Scammyhorn?
Okay.
Might have to write that one down, huh?
Yeah, I'd have to write that one down.
Yeah.
Just say it again.
Scammyhorn.
Scammy-horn.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Scammy-horn.
You bet.
Okay, what would you like to say in favor of your proposal?
Main question was, that is a typo. I do
Okay.
apologize, fat fingers. It's 25,000, not 15,000. In addition to that, we don't know what the objections were, and we'd like the opportunity to try to, answer any questions or field any objections that may be there.
Okay, so would you like the protesters to come, Eric, come on.
Yep.
Okay, come forward.
Did you not receive the packet, I'm assuming, then?
No, we did not.
Okay.
That was, so we felt a little
So if you don't mind giving him just a few minutes to take a look at this.
That's fine, sure.
This is the package. Hey, Scott, can you go back to the protest? Okay, so the exits.
Stacy, while they're talking, looking at this, we've had conversations before talking about exits and entrances and how close they can be together and how far apart they have to be. Do we know where the entrance and exits are going to be for the commercial side?
I really can't tell from this sketch, so that's something we need to get in the record to make sure they've got the 200-foot separation.
Right. And that's going to be 200 feet from the intersection as well?
That's my preference, yes.
And then 200 feet from entrance to entrance?
Yes.
And then to follow up on that, Stace, is there a plan for a turn lanes here due to the volume of traffic?
No, they haven't done any kind of a traffic analysis, and I don't think it's a large enough development to kick off that requirement.
I saw, actually, they did have somebody had traffic, average daily, I think on Waterloo it was like 2,000 people a day. remember where I saw that.
So the traffic counts that are in that information come from District 3. They go out and they count the traffic.
Okay. And you have to assume with like 24 businesses on this corner, it's going to go way up.
You would assume. It's difficult to say, just all depends on what's put there. I gave the packet to this gentleman. If you want to take this opportunity to speak with the people that are here to protest, he's going to go through that information and then give him an opportunity to come back up to speak to that.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay, is anyone here who is opposed to this proposal? Come forward, please. All right, one at a time. And then state your name and address, please.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. My name is Herb Gilkey, Gilkey, and I live at 4750 West Waterloo Road in Edmond. We are strongly opposed to the commercial development requested by this application, and I want to give you some of the reasons that we put in our letter, my wife and I. This is a rural country type area. The houses are all on acreages. The commercial development is basically out of place, wouldn't fit the character of the neighborhood and what's out there. It would be a strain, in our opinion, a burden on the facilities and the roads. The roads, you guys were just talking about the traffic on Waterloo Road. There, with school going on right now, I can pull out of my driveway and I literally have to wait, 8, 9 cars going by east and west on Waterloo Road. And I don't know if you guys know, but there is a school, Deer Creek Public School, just to the south. And so that's another reason for the increased traffic that it most definitely would create. And all those roads out there are only 2 lane with 4-way stop signs, and right now, most of them you can't see because of the trees and the weeds. So that, we believe, would be an issue as well. We don't think that we feel the water wells and the sanitary and sewer system and the other utilities are, what's existing now wouldn't be sufficient to support a commercial development. And we just respectfully request that this PUD be denied because it is simply out of place and out of character, because this is a rural country residential area. Most of the people who live there, horses, lots of horses and children, and so there's some safety issues there as well. Thank you guys for your time. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Quick question for you. I live up there, and I was up there to see the traffic. The only thing I know, there's also a church at the corner of 234 and Penn as well. What kind of traffic does that church get on the weekend?
The
Do you know?
church at 234 and Penn is back to the.
It's actually right before the school. You have the church and then you have the school.
Right.
So I'm just wondering what kind of traffic on Sunday morning is.
I can't answer that honestly because I don't go that way, and I'm not in the area on Sunday mornings, but you have to assume that with a church there, there's going to be more traffic on the weekends. And the weekends also just themselves present traffic because of where it is out in the country. We just like to say it's out in the country and it's residential and it needs to remain that way.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Gilkey? Did I pronounce that correctly?
Gilkey, yes, sir.
Any other questions?
I was just going to ask, is your opposition against the commercial development and the residential, or just one or the other?
Just the commercial. I mean, there's development, and we realize there's some development just right across the street, and that's Logan County, of course, and we understand that. But part of even the residential development, we don't think the acreage would support the size of houses that they're saying they want to put there. And so that's, it's kind of like we're okay with that, but the commercial,
One last question.
Yes, sir.
Are you on well and sewer, or I mean, a septic? Is
I'm on
everybody-
well and, yes,
Everybody out there. So Deer Creek Water Corp is not running out there.
not where we are.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it was
Okay,
saying.
any other questions? All right, thanks, Mr.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thanks. Okay, come forward, please. State your name and address.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Paul Terlecki. I live at 2255 Bordeaux Way in Bridlegate Estates, so just south of the proposed development.
Could you point out don't touch the screen, but just point where the X is. Okay, all right, thank you.
I have a second story on my house that can see this whole property. And so number one, on a commercial property, they're going to have lights everywhere. That's going to blast our house. I went through and looked at the master plan for the county, and it's planned out as 2 acre plus in the county master plan. That's what we thought when we bought our house up there, and we want to keep it that way so that we can, have a harmonious life and not have increased traffic from a commercial development and high-density housing. I actually also went through and looked on the county's website at the ACOG's report that the county requested about the aquifer, and they recommend that the density of housing be no less than 2 acres. And so we're not only doing high-density housing and commercial. So how do we deal with the septic and the water and all of that? There's no public utility there. There's no sidewalks. There's no mass transit. So all this will do is create more traffic. There's no doubt about it. If you put a commercial business in there, 24 commercial businesses in there. And what kind of businesses? Yes, we exclude a few. But what about dispensaries and things like that? What crime comes with those? There's been a lot of crime lately. So, there's a lot of different things, and I wrote it out in my protest, and I think that you guys should really look at the things that everybody in my community and the other people that are protesting this, what is it called, a revision or?
Planned unit development.
Yeah, so anybody who's protesting that, it's not good for our families. Deer Creek schools won't even come in our gate, so they're dropping their kids off out on the street. And you asked about traffic, Rob, about for the church. It's very minimal. There's maybe 15 cars on a Sunday down there, so it's a very small church, and it's not a lot, and it's something that has been there for many years. And this is something new that has had horses on it for I don't know how long. And there's no infrastructure there to support it. It's all going to have to go on septic and well. There's no anything. And on their plan, I don't see anything for turnout lanes or anything. How are they going to park 24 vehicles, at least 24? What if they have 2 employees per business? So how are you going to fit all those cars plus your customers? Where are they going to go? there's a lot of questions that I have about this and how you make this harmonious with our community. You know, we're small. We know everybody. We got a couple people here from our community, and everybody's real close to each other. And, you know, I would say if it was 2-acre lots, no problem. That's what the ACOG's report recommended. Says we're going to have water problems in the aquifer if we don't. You know, that's why you guys asked for that. And, you know, and throwing a commercial development in a place where, you know, I disagree on the amount of traffic that goes down the road. There's a lot. And I've had conversations with Ron. I don't know if Ron Cartwell's on this. Cardwell. I've had a conversation with him about the road conditions. I have his email. I say, hey, there's a pothole over here. Hey, and there's sections of Waterloo that have already been patched and filled, and they've had to go through everything already, and they can't keep up. And part of it's because of the development in Logan County. And yeah, they may be able to do that up there. But, you know, that's Logan County. This is Oklahoma County. We can't keep up with the road, and I can see where all the stuff that we've requested to be fixed has only been fixed on the south side of the road. So what Oklahoma County is responsible for. And you drive down that road and it's just pothole and, you know, your car's getting thrown all over the place. So what are we going to do with more traffic? Where are we going to put all these people? And when we do higher density housing, you know, where's all the drainage and runoff going to go? They say in their proposal that they're going to use detention pond and existing drainage patterns. Well, those are inadequate. And I can actually email any of you photos. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to do it. I was trying to get my protest off to you. When we had the rains maybe a month ago or 2 months ago, we had water running over Penn this deep. And we had water running through our backyard. And the creek where all the drainage runs, I'm at the lowest elevation out of the whole community. And I had a creek that was 120 feet wide where it's normally 3 or 4. So where's all that water going to come? To the lowest point and head towards Deer Creek. So I have a concern about that as well. So my house could be in danger, you know, and anytime anyone develops, they change drainage plans even though they don't intend to. Anyone have any questions?
Questions for Mr. Terlecki? Okay, thank you, Mr. Terlecki. Okay, anyone else that wants to speak opposed, come forward. And your name and address, please, sir?
My name is Kyle Malzahn, and 23937 Buckingham Court. I live
Can you
in,
point out which X? Okay, all right, thank you.
just, I'm neighbors with Paul, and everything he said, I agree with. I've got a creek that runs behind my house, and all that runoff that he's talking about runs into the creek behind me. So if the commercial wasn't there, I wouldn't oppose it as much. And if it wasn't high density, I mean, I moved away from a high density neighborhood. I designed my house. I plan to stay there forever because it was 2 acres. And, you know, I don't want to see, you know, the people farm effect again, to be honest. And, you know, if they agreed to, you know, the 2 acre plot, and there were, you know, it's 9, almost 10 acres, you know, and there's 5 houses, no problem. But I just, the high density and the commercial is just unappealing. So that's all I have to say.
Any other questions for Mr. Malzahn?
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who is opposed to this proposal? Okay, come forward, please, state your name and address, and if you could point out where you live on that map.
I'll point out, I'm Kathleen McKenzie, and 2 of those X's are mine, and you missed one of them. Let me kind of point.
Just don't touch the screen, though, but just,
This,
okay,
here, and all this property here is mine.
okay, all right, thank you.
So I have the boundary, the south boundary. We moved out there in 1993. This is a very rural area. And 6 years ago, we moved our house, because we have a horse barn. Where we have 40 to 50 kids dropped off there every day. We have school buses that drop kids off on Waterloo. South of it, we also have, you can see there, where we already have problems with people going up Penn and trash and everything that's involved. We depend on those water for our animals, and all this is going to stress. I'm assuming they're running off of wells, or they are? That's crazy. We have Waterloo that goes across, and we already have busy, pulling out of my driveway. It's weeds, it's trees, I have to wait. Freight, luckily my kids are grown, we don't have to worry about being hit, you can't even see. On the Logan side of the road, they do not take care of the roads. There's a big ditch on one. I have personally seen 3 accidents, one boy almost killed, car flipped. I've seen them clip, they go off the side. We have contacted Logan County for 5 years, and it has never been fixed. They're not going to fix those roads. The Logan County will not fix anything over there, so we're just going to be stressed going all the way through. We also have the problem of the watershed. Where our house is, a couple years ago, we had to have Ron with District 3 come out, and we had to pay to have bigger culverts put in, because all the water, he said, from hundreds of acres, and the developments they done go to my front yard. And right now, we're gonna have to add more culverts on our other property because of the things that's going. We have waterfalls. We're flooded all the way in the front. If this happens, our whole front is gonna flood, because the only place they're upper, and they go down, and there's no place for that water to go. We have had water in our front yard last couple years, has not gone away, because it goes under Waterloo, and it all comes down to our property. So it's not safe, it's not the flavor of the area, and if you drive down Penn, just drive down a couple miles and look at all the empty strip malls that we have. There is not a need for any commercial businesses out there. I went and I found about, within 5 miles, I think I found 25 empty commercial spots. There's not a need out there. People have moved out there because we don't have commercial. And once that rural area is gone, it's gone. And we don't have very much left. And it's just going to be gone permanently. The house that my neighbors live in should be on the historic register, and they live within sight. They're going to have those lights above them. We're going to have the people, we're going to have the crime. And it's not a safe area for any of me, my customers, or all the kids that come out daily to our facility.
Okay, questions for?
Are those your horses that are on that property right now?
No, those are my friends.
Okay.
Mine are south of it.
Okay.
And they're just letting him keep those horses there, but yeah. But our fence boards with it, so any trash coming over, I mean, that'll kill them. You put the wrong stuff over there, and you can kill a horse very easily. And we're the ones that put the big fencing up, to keep people away, but we already have the problem of people trying to throw things in. And as for the traffic, the kids ride an arena right next to Waterloo. We already have the problem of everybody going by and honking and throwing things, and it's going to be 2 or 3 times that easily.
Okay, other questions for?
Anything else?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, is there anyone else that wants to protest? Come forward, please. And state your name and address, and if you could point out where I'm trying to figure out who, who's at that X there that's closest to the.
I think it was her.
That's her. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, I'm sorry. Your name and address, please.
That's fine. I'm Tamara Gilkey, and my husband's already had a couple of words to say here, but I wanted to add, so that there's no misunderstanding, that everything on Logan County is residential also. There is a new addition, but it's on large acreages or large homes up to just to the west corner, right there, it's catty corner across from where this is being planned. It's large homes that are they're nice, but they're on large acreages. To the north on Penn, there's an addition, but those are also nice homes on larger pieces of property. Everything else on Waterloo is large acreages. There's actually nothing on Waterloo. I'm a little confused by this because honestly, the size, it's hard to tell exactly where my house is, but I'm not sure. Yeah, we're the third red X, I believe, or the third X. There's the yellow and then, yes, the second or third. Anyway,
Okay.
We're right up there. We have two granddaughters that are at our house a lot. They own 2 horses that we keep on our property for them. And this year, one will be in a school where she'll be coming regularly because she'll be a little bit closer this year in a Deer Creek school. The roads are very rough in that area. And like our neighbor said, that they're not taken care of on the Logan County side. You can kind of tell Oklahoma County side gets a lot more potholes filled and all of that, whereas the Logan County half of the road, it seems like, doesn't do much at all. Another thing that, to me, as a mom, a grandma now, is that we have fire trucks and ambulances often going down Waterloo, and so more traffic would just inhibit those vehicles that need to be able to get where they're going quickly. We also have school buses that are on Penn, they're on Waterloo. Obviously, they're all over that area because of all the Deer Creek schools. There is a middle school. The church that was mentioned, it is just to the west of the middle school. That's actually the only Deer Creek middle school. It's the large school. And so there's a lot of traffic because of the middle school, a lot more school buses. And then the elementary school is about 1.5 to 1.75 miles south of Waterloo on Penn. So there's 2 schools within a mile and a half from that intersection. And then in addition to all of that kind of equipment that goes on out there, there are lots of tractors that are hauling their equipment. There's big trucks that do go by with the big round hay bales on them often, but the tractors are going slow and they're pulling the equipment they have behind them. There is a lot going on there. So just wanted to be sure all of those points were covered.
Yeah, I saw
Thank-
a lot of farmland when I was out there driving around to look at it. So a lot of the south and the west is farmland.
To the west, do we know if that's a wheat field, or do you know what they have planted over there?
It has been wheat. I'm not sure if that's what's there currently. It's hay right now.
And the second question that you brought up, because I know
Yes,
the
sir.
fire department is just to the south of that, but do we know if there's any hydrants out there?
There are no hydrants
Thank you.
anywhere, no. And you're correct, the fire department is just to the south on Penn,
Right.
near the school. So,
Thank you.
any other questions?
Other questions?
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. All right, is there anyone else who hasn't already come forward?
Can you allow me just one moment to show you a picture of what I said that I had? Show you guys so you can see it, is that possible?
Okay, all right, come forward.
I understand, but there's drainage that runs from the back. If you look, I'm sure Eric would know better, but the drainage runs down through here, through this lot right here, down through here, and then dumps out back behind us. And we literally had a river going around all of our houses. And I had to go in and put swales in and drainage and all of this stuff to protect my home. So any water that's going downhill, the elevation that we're going to, or where the water is going to drain is just going to cause more problems. So I just want that to be,
Okay, all
be
right.
known.
Okay, is there anyone else here who wants to come forward and speak against the proposal? Anybody else? All right, okay, we have none. Now, will the applicant come forward because you've had a chance to look at the protest letters and hear what some of the neighbors have had to say, so you want to make comments here?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for allowing us the time. For whatever reason, we didn't get that in the mail. I don't know, imagine that. But we do appreciate that. And I want to say to everybody who did have a protest that we certainly want to play nice and be good neighbors and everything. So thank you for voicing your opinions on that. The intent of the commercial is to help service the areas.
Excuse me,
around
sir.
Oh, yeah,
can't
maybe,
hear you.
yeah, maybe, because they could hear if you're
you speak
speaking
into the
into the
microphone,
microphone.
The intent of the commercial is to service the houses and the residents around there. Okay.
Sir, you really need to
I wanna
address
just
us.
talk to us.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm split here. I don't know what to do. This is a progressive city that's growing, and this is an area that it's growing too. So I don't know what exactly the right wording to say is, although I don't think it's high density. It's only 11 homes. We're not trying to put a 50 home development in there. We will have civil engineers that will help with the hydration concerns. And we will, do everything per code and make that work.
I have a question about, the commercial part. Now, if they're going to be on well and septic, how?
Well, our
okay,
intention is not, I don't know where the misunderstanding was here, and I did see it in there, but we are planning to use Deer Creek water to service this.
It said you weren't.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. I don't know how that got misconstrued.
It says water facility, it's in your document, and it says water facilities are not available for this property. All lots within the development will be served by individual water wells that follow the Department of DEQ
Right.
standards.
Yeah, so that's for the residential. So we've talked with Deer Creek about bringing in water for the commercial. Now, we could also bring in water for the residential, if that would help the board feel better about things.
And what about the septic for the commercial?
We've actually also talked to them about sewers as well.
And what did they say?
It's inconclusive at this moment if we're going to be able to do that. But we would use aerobic systems if we had to go with the,
And when you said them, that's not the Deer Creek Water Corp. Who was the person you talked to about the septic?
to be honest with you, I was not the gentleman in my office who did that portion of that, so I would have to get back to you on that. But these are things we're willing to amend and willing to work with. We just wanted to let you know that we do intend to have water for the commercial. It was bought from Deer Creek.
Okay, well, you say sewer, okay, not septic for the commercial?
No, we wanted to also use sewer, and I apologize, the gentleman who did deal with that part of it is not.
Now, who would be, what organization have you dealt with about the sewer?
He just said that he didn't know.
You don't know, okay, all right.
Well, the gentleman actually had a child out with COVID, so he couldn't make it with
Okay.
me, so.
All right.
If I can.
Any other questions?
So
for
you
the
told us,
applicant?
in your document what won't be there. What do you anticipate being there?
A lot of retail spaces in the commercial. We're thinking like dry cleaners, offices are actually a thought. A lot of people are working more close to home now, need smaller offices, things of that nature, boutiques. That's kind of the retail.
Where's the nearest like-sized commercial development to this area?
It's approximately, I'm gonna ask, Norm, is it 3 miles?
2.5 miles, I believe.
It's about 2.5, 3 miles.
And although it's only, 10 homes, is that right?
11, yeah.
Only 11 homes. The nearest clustered development is well over a mile south, correct?
Just north, actually, and I know it's a different county.
That's Logan County.
Yeah, but there's a lot of houses there.
Yeah, so it is, would you agree it's a departure from what's currently there?
Yes.
Okay, any other questions for the applicant?
And then I think you heard there's some concern about the increased traffic and the ability to get people off of Penn and Waterloo, where you have residents trying to, if this is approved, trying to get into their homes as well as into those commercial areas, and then the residents of the area, fire service, et cetera, trying to be able to get through on Penn and Waterloo. Are you open to turn lanes?
Absolutely, 100%, yeah. Yeah, I think that would be, and that's something that we would work with our civil engineer on, but yes, turning lanes, absolutely.
Maybe you might want to, in your favor, offer some benefits for the community to bring in commercial development, like taxes and school and things like that. Do you have any studies on that, or how it'll improve the area?
You know, I am not the actual developer on the project, so we're the architects who have designed a lot of the things, so that is something that we could.
It's
Definitely.
technically 50-50. The houses are going to hurt the school, the commercial's going to help the school. They fill up the commercial space, that's commercial taxes that are going into the school without adding any kids.
Right.
If,
Assuming
know
that they
Deer
can
Creek has
fill
a
them,
funding
like she
problem.
was saying, there's a
Right.
lot of empty commercial in that area.
right, But the long and the short of this, is this all or nothing, or would you be considered scrapping the commercial and doing all residential, or scrapping the residential and doing all commercial?
I can't speak for that 100%. I think we would definitely be open to amending the proposal for the PUD. I would have to speak with the developers to, would you have a proposal on that or a recommendation?
I don't know if we're allowed to,
Well, part of my problem is there's too many unanswered questions in this PUD for me to even sit here and suggest we should try to do this or that, because, as we talked about the water, we don't even know what water you're going to use. As the PUD states today, the residential, the DEQ, if I understand correctly, and Eric, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is suggesting 3/4 of an acre minimum lots to use wells. You're at half acre or less right now.
0.6, I think, is the largest.
Right, but it's still smaller than 3/4. But as you said, you'd be open to using Deer Creek water, but that's not the way the PUD is written today. Okay, same thing is the PUD doesn't state, you talked about sewers and stuff, but none of that's in here today. So it's almost like, I feel like if I was to approve this, I'm approving a blank check and then hoping you fill it out correctly. So
do that.
that's that's why I asked a question about.
Sure.
Boom, so.
In my area, most of us, I think, live on acreage in rural Oklahoma County. That's why we sit up here. In my area, I met with the people who want to develop next door to me where our property borders, and met with him and talked to him about ideas. And because when he first came up and spoke to everybody here, there was a room full of people on 50th that didn't agree with anything he had to say, but he sent out letters to us, and we talked first about what we would be willing to deal with, I guess. He lowered his commercial size to just a couple of businesses, and he increased the number of acreages allowed on the PUD. But we talked to him back and forth, at least via U.S. mail
Right.
before, and I appreciated that. I felt like I worked with him, and I felt like we still get along really well because he included us in his commercial development.
Sure.
And I can't speak for residential, but he did commercial development next door to us. And I wasn't happy.
So with that, yeah, what I'm hearing, I'm guessing, is a modified version of this PUD should be submitted?
Okay, Eric,
We need to.
what are the rules for, let's say, if he wanted to, defer, let's say, can you,
If you want, if he agrees and you'd like to defer to the next meeting, you can. If he would like to go further out, another meeting further down the road, that's between you guys. And if he wants to amend the document, he can, and we can bring it back. So if you'd like to defer, if there's a particular date that you agree upon as far as a month out, 2 months,
okay, all right, so.
But
No,
if we deny it today, when are they allowed to reapply with a modified?
so if you deny it today, it does have to go to the Board of County Commissioners.
Right.
Your vote is a recommendation. So once it goes to the Board of County Commissioners, if they follow your denial, it is 90 days in which he would have to wait before he could reapply.
And if that were to happen, that would give him the 90 days to go talk to the people he needs to talk to, and we've addressed it today, because in fairness to the people who showed up today, they took time out of their busy schedule. I'm openly opposed to deferring things when we can decide on it right here and now.
Well, the only problem with that then is he's got to resubmit the fees and all that stuff too.
I understand that, but
You have a motion to deny?
I
Couldn't hear what he said.
I make a motion to deny item number.
Well, hold on a second, we haven't heard about anybody else who might want to speak in favor. We don't want to have to come to the meeting.
You're right.
again.
I agree.
Is there-
Okay, do you have anything else to say, or is there anyone other that's here that would want to speak in favor?
I would love the opportunity to not be denied and wait the 90 days, rather amend and resubmit for, I believe it was 30 days for the next one.
What, Eric, in the amendment process, though, if he's to amend this document, these folks that took their time to come down today, will they be notified, or is it just those that are sitting here that know about it?
That's correct. No one would be notified if you deferred a month or 2 months, whatever you decide upon. So that would be the difference between the deferral and the denial is is if it's denied, we would re-notify everybody when that meeting was going to be held.
All right, well, do you have anything else to say?
That's it.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thanks. And there's nobody else that wants to speak in favor? Okay, we've got somebody else here. Come, no, he's going away. All right. Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion to deny, and we have a second. Roll call. Eric?
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Patterson,
Yes.
Mr. DeFuria.
Yes.
Mr. Weiss.
Yes.
Mr. Talbot.
Yes.
Ms. Craig. Mr. Blau.
Yes.
Okay, it's denied. Okay.
Where's the agenda?
Where's my agenda? Okay. All right. Okay, moving on to item number 8, which is a discussion and possible action to accept the erosion control cash bond posted by the principal, JYM Investments, for the development of Tuscan Estates Phase 2, a single-family residential subdivision as provided in Title 19 Oklahoma Statute, Section 868.8.
Yes, so the erosion control bond for this particular project, this is a development that was looked at quite some time ago. It's out there off of Rockwell and 234th, 2-acre lots, if I recall correctly. There's approximately 20 lots. At the time, when this was accepted, they did not have an erosion control bond. They've just been kind of having the property sit out there for a little while. Now they're ready to move forward with the construction of the subdivision. So that's what this is. They're putting the erosion control bond in place to move forward with the construction.
Okay.
And this is on the east side of the road, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
And the amount is sufficient for the bond?
Yes, yes, it
Okay.
meets everything that we agreed upon with the developer when this was originally before the planning commission.
Okay, all right. Okay, need a motion?
I make a motion to approve item number 8.
Second?
Roll call, Eric?
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Patterson? Yes. Mr. DeFuria?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Ms. Craig? Mr. Blau?
Yes.
Item number 9 is a discussion and possible action to receive the July 2021 fee fund report. It's in our packet.
Yes. I don't know if you have any questions for me. Things look good. I mean, that's a little bit higher than normal. Just this time of year, we have registration of contractors. July is when we always do our registration, so a lot of people just re-registering is a lot of that. Obviously, there are some building permits as well, but most of it's registration.
All right, need a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, Eric?
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Patterson?
Yes.
Mr. DeFuria?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Ms. Craig? Mr. Blau?
Yes.
Is there any new business? Any new business? Okay, no new business. Okay, item number 11, sorry, is adjournment. Need a
Hold
motion
on,
to.
hold
oh,
on.
you
Let's
have
go
some
back
new
to
business?
item 4 for a second, because was it, Eric, was it 4 abstentions and 3 yeses?
Yes, if I recall correctly, yes.
Okay,
On-
I just wanted,
Didn't you
because
say
there was,
yes?
I voted yes.
You voted yes, so it was,
So I was,
it was 4 yeses and 3
okay,
abstentions.
then it would have passed. So do we
Yes.
need to redo that, Gretchen? I'll make a motion to reopen item 4.
I second.
Okay, roll call, Eric?
Ms. Martin?
Abstain.
Ms. Patterson?
Abstain.
Yes.
Mr. Wa- Now, hold on, now you're,
This is just to
wait, wait,
reopen.
yeah,
the
you're
item.
voting to reopen the item. You're not voting on the item itself. So I want to make that clear. I'll start over. So you're voting to reopen the item
Minutes.
dealing with the minutes. Okay? All right, so Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Patterson,
Yes.
Mr. DeFuria.
Yes.
Mr. Weiss.
Yes.
Mr. Talbot.
Yes.
Mr. Craig. Mr. Blau.
Yes.
Okay,
Now I move to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Second.
roll call, Eric?
Ms. Martin,
Abstain.
Ms. Patterson,
Abstain.
Mr. DeFuria.
Yes.
Mr. Weiss.
Yes.
Mr. Talbot.
Yes.
Ms. Craig.
Abstain.
Mr. Blau.
Yes, and I apologize for the confusion.
It passes, we have four, okay. Okay,
Adjournment.
item number 11 is adjournment. Need a motion.
I move. Second.
Roll call, Eric.
Ms. Martin.
Yes.
Ms. Patterson.
Yes.
Mr. DeFuria.
Yes.
Mr. Weiss.
Yes.
Mr. Talbot.
Yes.
Ms. Craig. Mr. Blau.
No.
Just to break it up.
I'm just checking if Marquita's listening.
Yes.
Well, next
I'm
week
not going
sometime.
anywhere, Eric, because I guess I can sign off on the minutes, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'll stick around.
So we should see if the next month's minutes show you voted no.
I changed to yes.
Bill, baby, come on, get that up, it puts a noise barrier between us and our house. So we excited waiting for it to be, we've seen the lots, we've seen the signs, we were wondering. why they
Okay.
weren't building, so now
Oh,
we know
yeah,
now.
do you have a pen, Eric? I forgot to bring a pen.
Here you go.
Oh, you got one? Okay, okay, great.
Well, I sure have missed you guys.
We missed you.
Yeah, so how are you feeling? I mean, after?
I'm fine.
Good, good.